is the network cards, how to change the VM networks now. Okay, and we'll see network security now. Deploying network is like fine, like based on the design or whatever it may be, we can design to make the connectivity available to the destination. But the challenging thing is like creating a secure networks. We have to secure the existing networks or whatever the networks that we have created. So here we don't need to worry about it. Like networking will be completely a different team's task, so they will handle it. Our job is to manage the virtual networks that we use. So we'll see like on what ESXi side, what are the we are aware of like virtual switch and virtual networks how we create it, but how what are the security features available on virtual network side? We'll see that. Out of them, one is VLAN, very important for day-to-day job and interview point of view. Both virtual local area networks. Local area networks, the small network inside a building or inside an one office, a small network inside a small area connected together, all devices connected together is a local area network. Okay, network within a small area, small region. On virtual local area network, we'll see how it works. It's basically network inside a network. We can define as private network within a network. Okay, let's say there is a switch. There are some ports, let's say ports. Okay, let's say there are some systems connected, some machines. They will be connected to the internet via router. Router will be always represented this way. This is a physical switch. Some devices are connected here. When these devices are connected like this, any device can communicate with any other device directly. Here via switch only it can communicate. Via switch only it can communicate. Okay, any device to any device. Okay. And we will not have any tracking mechanism here to identify from which machine to which machine it is sending the traffic. Let's say these are very two important machines. Let's say your organization financial data is stored here. You don't want others to directly communicate on this machine. So anybody who is trying to access these machines, we should track them. Who is accessing these machines now? If it is coming from via internet, definitely we will be able to track it on the router side. So here we can track. If it is passing through the router, we can track. Okay. So if it is coming from like one machine to another machine like this, it's not possible to track. We don't have tracking mechanism within here. Okay. So it's not possible. That is one thing. That is security reason. Another thing. Let's say a person who is sitting here is trying to download some 100 GB of data which is Even authorized data or unauthorized data doesn't matter. He is trying to download huge data for that organization or maybe for his personal use, whatever it may be. Trying to download lot of data. There is a possibility that when there is a huge data is being downloaded, the entire network bandwidth, the speed, internet speed or local network speed will be allocated to this guy because he is trying to download a lot of data. In that case, even though let it be genuine information for that organization only is doing that, but others will be impacted. All others machines will be slow on internet, their performance will not be good. That is one problem. Okay, this scenario is like performance issues. Okay, one challenge was security, another one was performance. We'll see how to achieve these things using a VLAN. It's a normal network, it will be like this. Okay, so there is we cannot provide any security, we cannot provide better performance in case of somebody is unnecessarily downloading or necessarily even if it is downloading too much of data. Okay. So now to achieve performance and security, we have to buy one more switch, disconnect these two guys from this network because we felt like these are critical VMs, critical computers, not VMs, computers, which are connected to that physical switch. Okay. We have to connect these machines to another switch and connect this switch to the router. Now, if you connect like this, others will not be able to directly communicate here. So others, if let's say who is sitting here, if they want to communicate to this machine, the packet should travel to the router and then come to this switch. Here, if it is passing through router, definitely we can track where is the packet flowing through. Okay, we can provide better security. Fine. Performance. In this case, these two devices are only connected to this switch, right? Even if he is downloading 100 GB or 1000 GB, doesn't matter. There will be definite amount of bandwidth allocated to this switch. These guys, there will be no performance impact. So we can achieve both security and performance. But the problem is, so just for this purpose, we are buying another hardware. It's expensive again. When we think about the cost, so it's expensive. We are spending more money to buy extra hardware. Okay, this is a physical switch again. Just for these reasons, we are buying one more switch. We are for that reason they have the Cisco side from the networking part, like they have designed something called network virtual local area network VLANs. Virtual local area networks. We'll see how it works. Let it be connected like this. There is something called from the network end. They will create something called local area network, virtual local area network within a private network within a network. This is already a network. So here they will mark this network as private and they will assign with one ID called VLAN ID. Let's say 5. Now within a network, we are creating a private network. This is refers to a private network and the same number should be used on the other end as well. 45 here, 45 VLAN ID. Apart from the IP address, we have to enter the VLAN ID as well. Once you enter this VLAN ID, while we know the packets will how the packets will traverse, right? So source MAC address, the switch working principle, destination MAC address, here VLAN ID will be written as well. VLAN ID also will be written in the every packet that is being sent from this machine. Okay. While sending this packet, if VLAN ID 45, this network guys will say, I'm using 45 for this connectivity. You have to use the VLAN ID at your end. So we will use that VLAN ID here. If this packet is traveling with the VLAN ID called 45, if it matches on the switch port where it is connected, if this VLAN ID matches, then only the switch will allow this packet to go out. Or if any other packet coming in, then only it will allow to enter inside and outside. If the VLAN ID matches, then only it will allow, okay, to send in and out. Okay. So if there is any wrong number, again it will not allow to pass through, because it should definitely come with 45, either in and out. If 45 is missing, then it will not be. Even if there is no VLAN, the no packet will be. Even without, if any packet is being sent without any VLAN ID, the port will not allow. If it is coming with wrong number, again it will not allow. It should be exactly the same. Okay. That network team will share us the ID. That's like creating a VLAN ID. The VLAN ID usage. In this case, others, even if it is directly connected within the same switch, if this machine wants to communicate to this machine, so here it cannot directly reach. It has to go to the router and then come back to the switch, even if it is directly connected. That's how the VLAN works. VLAN will not accept. It should go to the router and come back. Then we can definitely, if packet is reaching here, we can track it. Who is trying to access? Then next one. Even if as we have created VLAN here, even if he is downloading 100 GB or 1000 GB, there will be a definite amount of bandwidth allocated to this private network. So no issues. You let it download 500 GB, no problem. So there will be no outage to this internet. Okay. Like that, we can achieve security and performance without purchasing extra hardware. Okay, but here our job is to just use the VLAN ID on our port group side, VM kernel or virtual machine port group, wherever it is. We have to use VLAN ID on our end, whatever the ID used by them. There are total 4095 VLAN IDs available. Total this many VLAN IDs are available in a network. These many private networks can be created within a network. Okay, whatever the number used by them, we have to use the same number on our side. We'll see where we can enter that port. Like enter VLAN ID. VM port group. ESXi configure virtual switch. Select the switch. Select the group. Edit. Enter VLAN ID. And configuring VLAN ID on a VM kernel port group is different. This path will be different. Like this. So we'll see how to enter now. So basically VLANs are used for providing security and better performance in terms of packet flow. If VLAN is used, packet will go to the router and come back even if it belongs to the same switch. For say performance, others download and upload speed bandwidth usage will not be impacted by the ones which are in VLAN. The VLAN IDs will be created by the network admins on the physical switch side. We have to use the same VLAN ID on our ESXi side. Okay. There again there will be two types like trunk VLAN, access VLAN, and if it is access, only one VLAN can be configured on a port. Okay. If it is trunking, multiple VLANs can be used on a same port. That will be taken care by the network team. Okay, select ES6 machine, virtual switch, 0, or any switch, any on any port group. If it is on virtual machine port group, select this port group here, go to edit. You have to click on that label, port group label, then you go to edit. So here is the VLAN ID. You have to enter whatever the VLAN ID shared by the network team. So total 0 to 4095 IDs we can use, any number in between them. But 0, 1 and 4090, after 90 it will not be used. They will be used for internal use. So here we have to just enter ID, just say okay. In day to day, that much only will be our task. Okay, 110. If it is VM kernel port group, here VM kernel adapter is there. Just select here. So here you also multiple VM kernel port group. If it is only one, just in any one, just select which one you want to change. Edit. No, where is it? It should be there on the. Select port group. Here only can it. Here only can enter the VLAN ID. Then the path. I think 6.7 it's different. That's why I remember this path. Okay, so the same for both of them. It's the same path. Fine. So that's how VLAN works. And total, these many VLANs are usable in a network. But small companies will not use this many number of networks. So enterprise level organizations will use. Okay. No. Another next. Any question from here before we go to another security feature? Our day-to-day job is very simple, but you should understand what is it. So in our lab, we are not using VLANs on the physical switch side. Here also we are not using any VLAN ID. If it is entered, like we can see here itself, VLAN is there, right? So, excuse me. So VLAN IDs if are entered, then here only we could check what VLAN ID is entered. So in our lab on the physical switch, we are not using any VLAN. Let's say I'll just enter VLAN ID here and we'll see that VM will lose connectivity. So on the switch side, we are not using any VLANs. If you enter VLAN ID, there will be no communication again. If they are not using on the switch side, you should not use here. If they are using here, we have to use, and the same number we have to use. Should not use the wrong number. Okay, let's say here we will use. I'm taking some random number and just entering. See, here you can see VLAN ID 110 is used. If you are using, we can see the number here itself. VLAN ID 110. Right. So we'll go to another security feature. Very, very important, a firewall. Firewall management. The very important thing here we should understand is port. Firewall management is completely depends on port. Port group is different, port is different. Port is a channel of communication. Port group is a tunnel where we used to send and receive the traffic. Okay, so here to understand it, we'll switch router, then internet. Excuse me. Okay, so our one ESXi machine will be connected in the network in such a way. So from one switch point of view, there will be another switch. So we don't need this anymore. One switch to the router, router to the physical firewall. There is something called physical firewall, and again to the internet. So here it will be completely handled by separate team, the physical firewall. Very, very critical job and very highly paid job as well in the market. So here is the point where you authorized and unauthorized users will be entering into this our network via internet. Anybody connected to the internet directly can enter. So here the firewall is the block where they can allow or block the communication who is entering. into our network, either authorized users or unauthorized users. Unauthorized users basically hackers. Take a drill. Let's say your organization business applications are running here. Okay, so they want to steal data from your organization. If they want to enter, this is the way. You might have experienced ransomware virus. You might have heard, at least it was like very viral around 1 year back. So via internet, they will enter into firewall, and then they will try to reach here and access the data and block that machine. Okay, like unauthorized users. So there will be loopholes in the network. They use the loopholes and they try to enter into network. We'll see which port they have used and what kind of thing they have done later. So firewall here here we are allowing something and blocking something. That blocking and allowing based on these port numbers. Port is a channel of communication. So very easy example. Everyone we are using in the day-to-day job will see. We have a TV remote, TV, and there is a modem where we have a cable connection taken from there. Okay, from here, like whatever the D2H, some direct or cable, whatever it is. This is a modem, TV modem. This is your TV, and this is your remote. Let's say up to here, up to modem, all the channels are available. Whatever the amount that you paid for, let's say 600 channels, all 600 channels are available up to modem. From there, from the modem, your TV modem to your TV, you are allowing only particular channel. If you want to see, let's say Star Sports 1, you press like 100 number, something, whatever the number. So you press one number. If you press a number, that number will matches to one frequency here on the modem, and that frequency will be allowed to enter into your TV. That means up to here, all the 600 channels are allowed. You are blocking all of them. You are allowing only one, which you want to play or watch. Okay, like every channel is associated with one number. Every frequency here, all the 600 different frequencies, that means 600 different channels are associated with different numbers. So whichever the service that you want, whichever the channel, okay, you want, you are allowing them. Understood? We know how a TV remote works, right? So when you press a number, that respective channel is allowed to play on your TV. The same way, if you apply this exact example to a network, up to internet, all the services are available. Like whichever channel is associated with one number, each channel. Okay, the same way in the network, there are thousands of services. Here we have like hundreds of channels. There are thousands of services. Each service is associated with a one particular number called port. Your internet service, that is also associated with one port number. Okay. Internet port number is like 80, like that. So anything, if you download a file from a network, it's a 21 FTP. Like every service is associated with one number, and that number is called port, a channel of communication. Like service TV channels in our TV, and there are network services in a network. Okay. The total port numbers are 65,535 ports are there. These many services you can use in a network. There are very important communication, important port numbers that we should remember. vCenter works on 443. ESXi works on 902. vMotion works on 8000. HA 8042. NPP so on total. ENS. Internet connection HTTP works on port number 80. HTTPS secure connection 443. These are some important port numbers. At least we should by heart at least remember. Okay. These at least 10 numbers we always should remember. Very important services for any organization. If you go to any interview, they will ask questions like these port numbers. At least these numbers we should remember out of 65,535. Let's say if you want internet in your organization, here on this firewall, first port number 80 will be allowed here. This is a physical firewall handled by a separate team. Now internet is allowed to use inside your organization. So there is a firewall, and here also there will be one firewall. On ESXi operating system also there will be one firewall. On Linux operating system also there will be one firewall. On Windows also there will be one firewall. The similar firewall functionality, but the way of management will be different. Okay. Okay, fine. The way of management will be different, and every operating system will have its own firewall here and everywhere. Every operating system will have one firewall. Okay, and let's say here they have allowed communication to enter into our organization. Then here we have, let's say here we have blocked port number 80. Now there will be no internet to this machine and this machine because that service is coming through this machine. Here only we have blocked. So there will be no internet on here. So on ESXi machine, basically manage all. We use it only for SSH. Rest all the purpose we don't use. Okay. So by default, everything will be allowed on the ESXi. Our job is like riskless here. Okay. We don't manage the ESX firewall at all. Only we have to use for SSH sometime. We'll see what is that SSH, why we use it. On Windows machine, again, here, let's say here, if 80 port number 80 is blocked, there will be no internet on this machine. If it is allowed here, we will be able to use internet on this machine, like that. Every firewall has its own responsibility to allow and block the traffic. Okay, like this. Everywhere we can manage. Our responsibility is now to how to manage firewall on ESXi side. Just even if you don't use, we'll see how to use it. And Windows is very basic. Windows is easy as well. We'll see how to use firewall on Windows side. Okay, both things we'll see. Now understood, right? How to use. Okay, on ESXi machine, so there will be a separate tab. Select ESXi machine, configuration tab, security firewall itself will be there. In 6.7 onwards, firewall will be separate option here. Okay, so say under security profile, there is a firewall here. Edit. Allowing and blocking these port numbers only, it's called firewall management. So that's why we're going here. So here basically we enable SSH client only. This is disabled now and this is enabled now. On ESXi machine, this is the only job that we do. Okay, firewall management. Only a SSH client will be allowed to use. That's it. Now it is allowed. If you remove that checkbox, it's blocked. That's it. On ESXi machine, that's it. Okay. If it is Windows machine, we'll see here. Go to control panel. System and security. Windows firewall. Advanced settings. So here the firewall will be always represent like inbound and outbound, incoming and outgoing communication. Okay. So here the firewall represent not only the incoming communication, outgoing also it is possible to block and release. Okay, incoming, outgoing. Outgoing, basically no one will place any restrictions on the outgoing communication. Only we replace restrictions on the incoming communication. So unauthorized access will not be there. From inside to outside, anything we can use. So we don't place any restrictions on the outgoing communication. Okay. So incoming communication only we will block it. So that's why we don't touch outbound rules here. If you want to, in special cases, if you want to put restrictions on the outgoing communication also, you can do it here. Inbound rules. This is very important. Here you can click on new rule. Program or port number. Program means you have to type the service name completely. If there is any mismatch in the name, it will not work. That's why better to use any service is associated with one port number, right? Better to use port number instead of program name. Port, which port? Let's say port number 80, internet. Next, allow or block. Let's say block all profiles, local users coming from public internet. Okay, so different kind of profiles are there in Windows. So let it applicable for all the profile. Name, I'm blocking port number 80. Blocking HTTP. Port number 80, right? So HTTP. If you finish, there will be internet connection. Internet connection will be dropped on this machine. Our session will be disconnected. TeamViewer will be disconnected. So I'm just canceling it. The rule will be written here, block HTTP, and it will be showing us disable internet. Okay, like this. Fine. So in Windows machine, we write in such a way ESXi machine. Windows ESX firewall, and then Windows firewall. Control panel and security. Windows firewall. Advanced settings. Inbound rules. New rule. Select port. Enter port number. Allow or block all profiles. Enter a name for the rule. Just say okay. So firewall is basically a common component which we can allow or block a communication, authorized or unauthorized communication. That will be handled by a separate team. We don't need to worry about it. Okay. From our end, we have to manage on the ESXi side and the Windows machine as well. We can manage firewall on Windows and ESXi side. On ESXi side, basically port number 22 only we use. These are the port numbers we use on regular day-to-day job and important for interview point of view. And Windows firewall, how we manage it. Okay, understood? Any question? So let's understand, like in our day-to-day job, how the communication works. Let's say there is another ESXi machine. There is one virtual machine is running here. Okay, this is a Windows machine. Here also there will be a firewall. You are trying to access from here, from sitting from here, you are trying to access, very important day-to-day job, it will be helpful a lot. Please listen. Okay. You are sitting here and there is another virtual machine, there is some application. which is running here. Okay. If you want to understand whether that application is working fine here or not, sitting from here itself, using command prompt of this machine itself, we can understand, okay, whether it is clearly working or not. Okay. So now from here you try to access this application. Let's say for some reason application is not accessible. There may be multiple reasons. Application may be stopped, this machine might be stopped, or even if they both are fine, application is running fine, version is running fine, maybe the port is blocked. Okay, that three reasons are available. Application is stopped, machine is stopped, or port is the respective port is not allowed. Okay, from here you are trying to access that application via this path. There is no physical firewall involved here. Okay, that means you don't need to talk to this guy. It's a local network, we can manage ourselves. If it is outside this network, definitely you have to ask this person, can you check whether that port is allowed or not. Before that we have to make sure that respective machine is up or not. That we check with ping. Via ping we'll try to ping. Let's say sitting from here, this machine, we test our vCenter machine, so vCenter application. Okay, we are sitting, let's say here we are sitting, and this is our vCenter machine which is running on ESXi machine. So the spider vCenter, the spider we see which is here. Okay, from the command prompt we'll try to test it. We have to use command called telnet space destination machine IP address 192.168.0.200 and vCenter works on 443. Telnet is not installed in this machine. We will just enable the telnet. And very first time it will give like this. If telnet is not installed, you have to go to turn Windows VHS on or off. Here we have to enable. Telnet client should be enabled. Sitting from a remote machine, we are trying to understand the application inside a machine is working fine or not, whether it's reachable or not. When you are trying to access that application is not working. So in such conditions, we can verify if that application is up or not, or maybe port problem. It is allowed now. Just up arrow press. It's working. If you enter this in this format and if it is quickly going to this blank screen, it is allowed. Let's say I will test 80. Also it's working. Both are reference to center. So some random number I'll type. Trying to connect to that destination machine from sitting from this machine. Sitting from here, it is trying to connect this machine via port number 89, which is nothing. No service is associated with port number 89. So it's still waiting, and after some time it will say connection failure. Cannot connect to, cannot open port, could not open connection to the host on port number 89. Okay, that's how we can verify a remote service is running fine or not. Telnet space destination IP space port number, respective port number used by a particular service. In this case, maybe this machine is not up, or maybe that application is stopped, or maybe that application is associated with a different port number. Basically, all default ports only will use. Let's try to ping first. If this machine is reachable, ping space 192.168.0.200. Ping is working, TTL value. So ping is working, that means that machine is reachable. Machine is powered on. Now you are trying to access that application is not reachable. So that you are trying to check and which port number, the respective port number is allowed or not. Port number is allowed now. Quickly is going to blank screen. That means it is connection is established. So via port number, it can reach the server. But when you're trying to open the application, that application is not opening. That is a different. Now you need to log into that machine and check it. Okay. Fine. Remember the command telnet space check a remote test remote application status telnet space destination IP space port number. This example I'll give one thing from the command prompt telnet space 192 space 168 0.200 space port number 440 like this. Okay. Any question here? Very important security features. That is one. Okay. Practice lab again today. Tomorrow we'll go to different topic. Networking is over. Tomorrow we'll see the interesting and important migrations, vMotion and SVMotion topics. Meanwhile, if you have any question, please let me know.